President Putin, not to be confused with President, and Xi Jinping were caught discussing immortality. So let's rehash what they were saying, what they could have been saying, and what they should have been saying. And also one practical thing me and you should be doing today from the point of science and longevity. What they're talking about when they say the longer you live, the younger you become, is also known as LEV, L-E-V, longevity escape velocity. And if you imagine the bathtub filled with 80 years of life and slowly draining, on top you have medicine, which adds years. And the moment when it equalizes and the water starts to rise, that's your longevity escape velocity moment. And that moment is different for everyone. The healthier you are, the sooner it will happen, because you'll need less medicine coming from the top. For example, what they were talking about next, organ transplants. Nothing new in this world in that regard. Trafficking, unfortunately, happens even here in the West, and China is notorious for that. But is it going to give these dictators immortality as a hope? No, not even close. Because they're doing it wrong. First problem, it's not just about a single organ, let's say heart, which is #1 killer, right? Heart disease. It's about the whole body. Kidney, liver, lungs, bone marrow, nervous system, they all decline and are very hard to replace. You cannot replace the aging brain. There are some ways to improve it, we'll get to it in a minute, but you cannot replace your brain. Second issue, when you replace an organ, your immune system treats it as an invasion. Let's say Mr. Putin gets a new heart. But he also gets Ukraine situation right there. Today, organ replacement is the last resort because you have to be on immunosuppressant drugs with a bunch of side effects. But what they could have been talking about is island, not Epstein kind of island, though you never know what happens there, now that I think about it, but the movie island, an underground facility with clones of rich people where you can win a lottery and go to an island, basically get harvested for organs.
I hear they're taking your kidneys, your lungs, your heart.
However, it's not something which is easy to implement, especially when you are a paranoid dictator. And also, even this approach has some serious limitations. Number one, identical clone doesn't mean identical transplantation. The immune system doesn't read DNA. It uses MHC, major histocompatibility complex, as a communication mechanism. But random mutations and epigenetics, your environment can totally mess it up. Imagine you have a twin brother who was separated from you and now lives in Russia. You say, "Hello," and he replies, "Иди нахуй, придурок, my name is 𝐒𝐤𝐞𝐢𝐚 Montoya." Second, even if you have a perfect match, no immunity issues, you still have to undergo an open heart surgery at 75 years old, and good luck recovering from that, especially in the dictatorship environment. So what they should have been discussing is how to speed up aging biology research and clinical studies, look into epigenetic reprogramming, tackling collagen spikes, exploring germ cell rejuvenation. After all, human babies are born young from the old parents' cells. How? Nobody's really looking into it. It's not profitable. But if you have money, I have scientists who'll jump on the research right away.
First results have been already published.
And hopefully you're not a dictator. But what if you are? That's a good moral dilemma, right? No, it is not. Should we stop cancer or Alzheimer research just because Putin will live longer? I'm not going to sacrifice innocent people for that, otherwise how I'm any better. And the same applies to aging, to stem cell research and organ printing. And as you see, it's coming one way or another, so I'd rather us to be in charge. Would you agree? And with all this coming towards us, the weakest link, which I've mentioned before, is brain. You cannot print or replace the aging brain, but if you start now, you can leverage PERF system to keep you and your mind as sharp and as healthy from this day forward. Living is smart, aging is bad, and let me show you how simple it is.